Welcome to our OP webinar on turning social media into your practice's growth engine. I am Dr. Dan Feigen. I am the Chief Medical Officer of Office Practicum and Remedy Connect, and we're just really glad that you're here. I think we all know that social media is something that is very important. Engaging with our families is critical in today's marketing. The problem is that we don't have any time to do it. And if you're like me, you may not have the artistic skills or design skills. You do not want to trust me to choose the colors for your child's bedroom, let me tell you that. But I think there are solutions, and we are very happy to be partnering with Social Cascade to provide you with a solution that I think you are going to find is very, very easy. I have used this system for the last 4 months with a practice in Colorado, and I am astonished at how easy this is. It really cuts down on your time. It provides much of the content that you want to provide to your patients, etc. So without further ado, I want to tell you about our two presenters. We'll start on the left there with Rebecca Shade. Many of you know Rebecca, and she has been working in patient engagement for nearly 20 years. She and I have been working together for about that amount of time, and I have to tell you that patient engagement is her passion. She lives it and is just, for many of you that use the Remedy Connect websites, she is often your go-to person. She pretty much knows everything website. And I think you'll see the degree of passion that she has for this social media solution. Lucy Costurco is a founder and an innovator and a product leader in the patient engagement space. And she is part of the founding group of Social Cascade. She's an educational psychologist and a researcher. But she has also been part of the AI revolution in that she has built out solutions for education that impact children and their families. So I think that she comes with remarkable skills to help us communicate important messages to our families. So I will turn that over then to Rebecca and let her go from there.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Dan. We appreciate you being on with us. You have a wealth of wisdom and experience that we're all grateful to be able to glean from as we walk through different things that come up within practices. It truly is invaluable what you share with us. Lucy, if we can go to the next one. So just a quick note here. I know questions are going to come up. You probably even came and entered today with questions top of mind about social media. As we're talking, I know additional things may come up as well. So the quickest way to get those questions to us, on your GoToWebinar panel, you're going to see a section where you can just drop in questions. We would appreciate that. Feel free to drop them in anytime. If it works to answer it and it's really relevant to what Lucy is talking about at the moment, I'll kind of jump in, we'll pose that question and then move on. But at the very end, we'll also go through those questions and make sure that if we can't answer them here, we don't always have all the answers top of mind. We'll do research and we are happy to get back to you as quickly as possible. So for today, we're going to look at our objectives and what we're going to go through and explore. So over the next 30 to 40 minutes, we're going to do several things together. One, we're going to look at the benefits of automated social media posting. As Dr. Dan referred, AI is involved here. AI boosts the content. It's not writing the content, which is a little bit different, but it is telling us the day, the time of day that people are watching. That's going to differ. Facebook and Instagram, when your parents are logging in, spending those few moments in carpool, at lunch, after they put kids to bed, whenever it is. but we're following that. When are they opening the post? When are they slowing on a scroll? And what content is most relevant to them per platform? So we'll dig in deeper there. Also, we really believe that we want to make your lives easier. That is a goal of ours. We know how busy you are. We hear it every day. All of the practitioners, you guys are busy treating patients. The staff is busy trying to get them scheduled and in the office and for whatever references, referrals they need. So really, our goal, take something off your plate, give time back into your day. And we do this, and we do call it frictionless. I just onboarded a client with Scott, who works with Lucy this morning, just about an hour ago. It was so easy. Truly, they had all the providers on. It just goes so smoothly to bring them on. So we want you to see that part's easy. As well as zero-click marketing. That is probably some key words you guys are hearing out there in the marketing world. And that just means we want to deliver valuable, relevant content immediately to parents right where they're at. And they don't have to click anywhere to get additional. They really are getting value where they're at. That often is going to be on social media. Your Google business profile can offer that information. We do hope they're going to your website as well. But for today, we're going to show you how they can glean that content right on your wall. And then you really are that subject matter expert for your parents and for their friends. It's going to expand where you're going. This also, we're going to go through how it can boost patient engagement. We have stats. What I love about Lucy is they're by the numbers. They are truly looking at research, what works. It's not what, oh, that feels good or that looks cute. Like, there's true numbers behind this. There are stats behind this. It will help your practice to grow. It helps you to find, as they say, keep and guide your happy patients. And we want to see that happen as your practice grows and expands. I'm going to hand this over to Lucy to get us started.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction, Dr. Dan and Rebecca. Happy to be here today. Just to get things started, I wanted to quickly throw up a poll question. I'm curious what you think here. How often does your practice post to social media? So specifically post to Facebook, post to Instagram. Is it more like 2 to 7 times a week, where you're posting every week, almost every day? Is it 1 to 2 times a month? Are you really just throwing something out there on holidays, closures, special events, announcements? Or are you like many of us and can't even remember the login to your Facebook? So if you could take a second to answer those quick poll questions. Again, we're looking at how often does your practice post to social media?
We'll leave this up for about 30 seconds.
All right. As Rebecca mentioned, it is such a full-time job to make sure that you're posting all of the time. I mean, amongst all of the other responsibilities that you have in a day. So no wrong answer here. We're just curious how often your practice is posting to social media.
We'll give just a couple more seconds here. I see people are still putting answers in, and this definitely does help us. All righty, let's share the results here. So it looks like most of you are posting for holidays, closures, and special events. We do want to reach our audience when those special things come up. I know we're going to dive a little bit more into how can we get those messages in front of your parents and families when those things do come up. Because if you're only posting for holidays, closures, and special events, it is less likely to actually get in front of your critical audience when it needs to be, and we'll take you through that. And then it's pretty even whether you're posting multiple times a week or just a couple times a month. And as expected, a lot of people just don't even know how to log in anymore. They don't know who has to log in. And so that can be frustrating as you're trying to even get started with this, that you don't know how to get into your account.
Wonderful. All right. So thank you so much for answering those questions. We will move on here. So why is it important? I mean, like it or hate it, this is where parents are. You all look around your waiting room, you see your parents sitting there scrolling on their phone. Well, what are they doing? They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. And in fact, they're spending about 2.5 hours a day on these platforms. That's a lot. Like I said, like it or hate it, this is where your parents are. And so if you want to be top of mind between office visits, if you want to have a digital impression that you're leaving with them that is an extension of the in-office care they can receive, the place you really need to be meeting them is on social media. And it's also really important for you as healthcare providers because social media is now a top source for health-related information. And this is especially true among those younger generations. And 78% of parents report consulting social media when evaluating pediatricians. So when I'm trying to make a decision about where to find care for my child, I'm of course looking at your beautiful website, but then also looking at your social media profile. So it's really important that your social media profile is a representation of the quality of care they can expect in the office. You want that social media channel to have that zero-click marketing. You want to be a go-to source for on-demand information. When parents have questions, they want to hear from you. And in the absence of you on these channels, they're looking for other accounts that they can trust and having to make those decisions by themselves. By being there on a daily basis, by situating yourself as a active voice in the ongoing conversations in your community, you can build that trust and loyalty, keeping patients coming back to your practice. By posting every day and especially linking back to your website and driving traffic there, you're going to increase your findability, your SEO, your online reputation, all of these things that are very important to you as a small business. And you're going to be able to have that preservation of your practice personality without diluting that overall brand. But knowing that in order to be effective on social media, Meta really wants you to be posting every single day, a post every single day. And that drumbeat's important because it's going to help you, so to speak, beat the algorithm. So if you're posting every single day, when you do come through with those announcements, provider spotlights, highlighting somebody's birthday, you're going to get that amplified reach and engagement that you're looking for because you have that consistent drumbeat going on. But I fully recognize that maintaining a social media profile and maintaining that level of activity is a full-time job and requires time and expertise that may or may not be available at the practice. So I'm curious, another poll question we're going to throw up there. How does your practice currently use social media? So what is the purpose of your social media channel right now? Is it to post educational and fun content? Are you really just focused on the patient ed piece of it? Are you posting pictures of staff and families? Or are you just perfectly fine, Dee, we are too busy to run our social media accounts? So another quick 30-second poll. How is your practice currently using social media? Is it something for educational but also fun content? Are you really just trying to make sure that parents have those FAQs that they're looking for? Are you posting fun staff activities? Or are you really not posting that much at all? Because who has time for all of that? So take a couple more seconds to lock in your answers for this question. We're just curious how you're currently using social media. A few more seconds here. I think there's still some answers coming in. All right, how are we looking, Rebecca?
Here we go.
All right. So the majority of you are using it for this nice mix. You've got educational content. You've also got fun things that are going out. We've got another 23% of you using it for patient ed. This is a wonderful place. You want to make sure that it's not all rah-rah us as a practice, that there is some, what's in it for me as a parent? How are you supporting me between office visits? How are you bringing new information to me? How are you really, using your expertise and thought leadership within our community. It's also, of course, a fun place to post pictures of staff and family. I mean, that is the purpose of social media at the end of the day. And then that 17% of you that's just too busy, we have a solution for you. All right, let's keep moving here. So a little bit of by the numbers for this solution. So over the past couple of years, we have published more than 12,000 posts. We're trusted by more than 800 providers across the US, and those posts have reached over 3 million families with high quality, trusted information that is relevant to their parenting life. And that's why we see such a high follower satisfaction rating. So we send out insight surveys and ask, how are you enjoying the content that we're posting on a scale of 1 to 10? And the average score that we're getting back is 9.4. And that's really a testament to all of you. Parents want to hear from you. You are the ultimate med influencer. We just want to make it official. And parents are very grateful for the time that you take to share information with them. And what we love is that it's also working. So that consistent drumbeat, by posting every single day things that are timely and relevant, you're going to see an enhancement in reach. So eyeballs on your posts, right? So even if they're not taking that step to like it, comment on it, share it, or save it, they are seeing it, which is the most important part of any patient education post. But you're also going to see an increase in engagement rate. And we're going to get more into what that means, but it's really just the percentage of your followers who are taking that next step of liking, commenting, sharing, and saving. Again, because this is timely and relevant information. And so they are taking that step to engage, which is great to see. And when you couple a great social media strategy with your wonderful website presence, magic just happens. So we can't expect parents to be going to your website every single day to look for content. They're too busy for that. They gotta spend their 2.5 hours on Instagram, right? And so what practices see when they couple these two things together is 20 times the impressions that they get on web alone. So it is a great complement to an already wonderful web presence to repurpose and extend that to social media, this very ubiquitous and accessible communication channel. All right, so enough about the why. Let's dig into the how. So jumping in to how this solution works. Very easy. Dr. Dan said frictionless, Rebecca said effortless, and that truly is what it is. So you're going to spend about 20 minutes with us, and you're going to go through our growing library of content partners. So these are trusted, credible organizations from across the country at both the national but also the local level. So you come through, take 20 minutes to connect your socials, and then say, yep, I know and trust the CDC. Oh, we're a Reach Out and Read clinic. I know and trust Reach Out and Read. Common Sense Media, the AAP, Child Mind Institute. Like I said, this is a growing repository. We have over 150 content partners today. We add them weekly. And in that conversation, we also want to hear from you. Who are the local organizations who are providing resources, services, events for your families? Because we want to bring that in so that you are also talking about story time at the library or the food bank or the diaper bank. So we'll pull those in as well so you get a nice mix of content from trusted national sources as well as those local resources as well. After you do that, that's really it. You go about your day job. We'll take over from there, intelligently selecting, scheduling, and pushing out content onto your practice-owned Facebook and Instagram channels. All you've got to do is look for an email on Sundays. We're going to send it to you and say, this is your schedule for the week. If you like it, don't do a thing. Keep doing your day job. And if you want to make any changes, of course you can. These are your channels. You maintain complete autonomy over them. So you can delete posts, and you can, of course, still come through and do your announcements just as you always have through Facebook and Instagram. Let's dig in a little bit about that. So I talked about these trusted content partners. So on the right side of your screen here, you'll see, we're pulling content from these national and regional partners, 0 to 3. We just added them last week. Wonderful content. Dr. Yum Project, But like I said, we also want to hear from you. Who are those local partners? Is it your school system? Is it the library? Is it some other organization that is working to improve community health? And then I said, we're intelligently selecting, scheduling, and pushing out. This is where the AI comes in. We are not using AI to generate content. It's just not there. The medical accuracy is not there yet. We'll keep an eye on it. But for right now, let's let the experts create the content and use AI to optimize the delivery of your content for relevance. So we're ingesting a lot of different data sources to know, all right now we're seeing higher than normal flu in certain pockets of the country, norovirus in certain pockets of the country. Some people are getting snow, some people aren't. This summer, we're gonna have some extreme heat temperatures. And we can keep a beat of all of that so that your practice location and your community is posting the next best piece of content for your families. So it really keeps you in that active conversation that's going on around the community. But wait, there's more. It gets better. We're also going to make sure that you're posting a custom branded post at least once a week. So again, the purpose of this is patient retention, right? Let's keep your practice top of mind between office visits. Let's push on those practice goals that you have. And let's also bring attention to these services that you want more parents to know about. That, again, is going to drive traffic back to your website, bring that awareness, remind people, oh yeah, I do need to book a flu shot. It takes a person hearing a message 7 times for us to really see behavioral change. We got to hit them over the head. Social media is the place to do it. So just a little view into how we are pulling in content and then optimizing it for relevance, timeliness, and your practice goals. And like I said, all you have to do is look for an email. It's going to look like this, and it's going to say, all right, here's your schedule for the week. If you like it, great. You don't have to do anything. And if you want to go delete it, you can do that. Very quick email. You can add as many people at the practice to this email. We're going to deliver it Sundays at noon without fail. And it works. So this is what we typically see. So this is actually one of our customers' data that we used with permission. So each one of these little dots is a post on Facebook and Instagram. I've got time right there on the x-axis, and then I'm going to put engagement rate on the y. As a reminder, engagement rate, the percentage of your followers who are liking, sharing, saving, or commenting on a post. All right, so what we typically see before we come in is a random smattering. You're posting when you can. I get it. You can't do it every day, but as you have time to do it, you're posting. And it gets decent engagement, well within that industry average of 1 to 3%. Nothing wrong with that. But when our service begins, things get really interesting in a great way. So not only does your frequency of posts increase significantly, but that engagement rate also goes up because parents want to hear from you. They care about what you're saying. They trust what you're saying. So they are going to share it. They're also going to save it for later. If you're posting the Tylenol dosing chart, they're going to save that for their records, or they're going to share this new information about a recall on eggs, that you want your patients to be aware of. So really great results here that we're proud of, that really result in that 50 times the engagement that you've seen before, 5 times the reach, more people seeing your post, more people seeing your brand and being aware of your practice, and that 9.4 satisfaction rating that we'd love to see. All right, and just a couple of case studies I want to bring your attention to. So this is Bloom Pediatrics. She started her own practice. So she had to grow her patient panel, and she was expecting to take about 3 years. She grew it from 0 to a maxed out patient panel in less than a year. And when we talked to her, she said, I attribute all of it to organic social media. And it's because parents were recommending her practice in the local parenting groups. And when people would click through to see the practice and make that decision about where to find care, they were seeing a social media presence that is compassionate, that is caring, that is proactive, that is supportive, all of these things that you want to be associated with your practice. Great engagement, it grew, and what she loved the most, and you can see this in that video that we've linked down there, we can also put it in the chat, I'm sure, She said that patients just come in so appreciative. Oh my gosh, I saw this on your Facebook. That was so helpful. Thank you. So that just kind of pat on the back really went a long way with her. Similarly, we've got Novant Health that we're supporting here in the North Carolina area. So they started using our service to really establish themselves in their community. We are a practice. We're not just this big hospital brand. We care about you as parents. We're active in the community, bringing attention to that. And they were also feeling some competitive pressures from other health systems in the area. And by using us, they've reached more patients. They're seeing engagement rates soar. And then we also did this really cool study with them where we had their social media before and after. And we sent it out to a ton of parents, not their actual patients, but a ton of parents, and said, look at these two social media presences. Let's pretend that you're trying to decide where to seek care for your child. 83 of those parents said that they would choose this practice solely based on their proactive social media presence. So it really makes a statement in terms of the front door, your digital front door of your practice. She said, I love how much we've achieved with very little time on our part. This solution makes patient engagement easy. Gotta love that. All right. So what does this look like? I'm going to jump over here. So like I said, we have promised frictionless, right? So when you log into Social Cascade, this is what you can expect. You hook up your Facebook account and or your Instagram account. And then, like I said, we're going to go through the stream library. So you click over in streams, you scroll through. This is a growing repository for any of them. The CDC's big. We've broken it down into individual topics here. If you want to dig in a little bit more, you can click on one, see exactly how this content's going to appear on Facebook or on Instagram. And if you like what you see, you just hit that subscribe button, and that lets our algorithm know this content is something that you would like to share with your patients. You repeat that process for all of our different wonderful content partners in here. I mean, how fun are these posts? After you do that, like I said, you're done. You head over to your calendar. You can see your schedule for the week, what's going to go out. You'll see it's going to populate different posts for Facebook versus Instagram, because those are two different followers, right? Those are two different populations. And so we'll start to see the topics refine over time for each one of those audiences. And of course, Rebecca said it up front, we're data people, and we want to make sure you know your solution's working. So we've got this great analytics tab here where you can dig into the data at any given time. So you can see, information about your reach, information about your follower growth. You can look at engagement. Here's that great little dot chart that I showed in my slides. We're going to produce one right there for you. And if you want to look at a different time period, that's fine. Let's look at it from the beginning of the year until today and see that data populate in real time. We're also going to show you what content performing the best, what topics are performing the best. So gives you a clue into what is top of mind for your parents at any given moment. So what does it look like? All right, so let's head over to Facebook and take a look here. This is one of our practices. So you can see they're posting every single day. All of the content is coming through. Let me make this a little bit bigger. It's got that caption with it. It's got the full attribution statement to the organization. You get an editorial disclaimer. This is not medical advice. If you have specific questions, we want you to do X, Y, and Z. You create that call to action. You can put your phone number there, your website there, whatever you want patients to do. And then, so they're posting every single day. They're getting their weekly branded posts as well that is aligned to practice goals. So, keeping in mind, this is something that they want to make sure their patients are aware of right now. They still have flu shots. Flu is everywhere in North Carolina. Give us a call, schedule those flu shots today. But then they also came through with their own post. Happy birthday. Look at the engagement on this. 228 likes, 126 comments, 10 shares, just incredible engagement, because since they are posting every single day, now that when they do come through with an announcement, it's going to land in more people's feeds. Meta is going to prioritize it, and that's exactly what you're seeing happen here. All right, so that's what it looks like in practice. I'm going to flip it back over to Rebecca to tell you some more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I did have a question just come through, Lucy, that I'm going to pose to you. I think I know the answer, but I'll let you go here. So in Meta, you can double post. For Instagram and Facebook, you can set that up. You can schedule it. It's going to send the same post to both platforms. The question is, if they use this service, do I need to disable that cross-posting since there is a different content base that we're sending out based on Instagram or Facebook, or can they still keep that when they do autonomy, you know, when they put their own post up, because Social Cascade is already putting up that it's going to send to those different platforms? What do you do?
Yep. So great question. So yes, anything going through Social Cascade, we are starting to learn those different audiences over time. So I talked about, you know, looking at the different topics that are most engaging to each of those audiences. What we see typically is Instagram content kind of learning down to the younger kids, those little kiddos. So, you know, the 0 to 5 well visit information, safe sleep, you know, water safety. And then what we typically see on Facebook is for the older kiddos, so teen driving information. We're also going to optimize the time of day that posts are going out. So do you get more engagement when you post on Facebook in the morning versus Instagram in the afternoons? It'll start to learn that over time. And then yes, you can still use your Facebook Business Manager and the Meta Business Suite to do those posts. So if you did want something to go out on both of those, you could do that. But Social Cascade will handle all of the content that's going out here. And then anything that you go out, you can still have it cross-posting if you want to, if you do have those announcements.
Thank you. Love it. Okay, so I'm sure that it's top of mind, even though this is going to be pretty frictionless, so easy on your side. What is it going to cost? Because there is a cost for us setting this up on the back end. Well worth, I believe, the time that is going to free up in each day. So we were doing some numbers this morning and just thinking about how much time it takes to create a post. So we said on minimum to create that post, to actually put it on the calendar, whether you're scheduling it through that Meta scheduler or whether you're posting immediately when it's top of mind. It's a minimum of 15 minutes usually to do that. Most practices it's taking 30 minutes or even more, because you're really trying to think what is going to reach my community, my families today with this post, and then remembering to go in and do that. So in general, if we're saying that and you're posting every day, you're going to save on average about 7 hours a week, especially since we know content does usually do better and it is more effective when it's different on Facebook and Instagram, because those audiences can be different and we want to get the correct message in front of the correct audience. So at looking at that and saving your time, we've created 2 different packages. One that we call Basic. I don't really think it's basic because it does some pretty awesome stuff, but it's that foundational package to make sure you have the ability to take, like we said, we have over 150 content partners, meaning, but even under them, like the CDC, there might be 30 different types of content coming through. So lots of content and posts you can choose from. Those are going to go out for you. They'll be scheduled on the calendar, and all of the content, you can do it up to 7 days a week, which would mean 14 posts, 7 posts per different platform that can go out, and that's $599 a month. If you want the curated post where we're really looking at your practice, we're going to brand, that is when you can meet. We'll meet quarterly with you. We'll go through looking at the next about 13 weeks over that quarter, what are some key items we want to hit on? What are some key things? Maybe you're doing a fun run or hosting something for a local school. Maybe you want to draw attention to a concussion clinic that you're going to offer as football season is getting ready. We will curate those posts around things that'll be happening in your office. Hiring a new provider, offering a lactation clinic, whatever it might be. And so we do want to know those things so we can do what is most effective for your clinic. If you don't tell us, we're still going to do those branded posts for you on the pro level. So for pro, it is $747 a month. You still get all of those auto posts that will go out on your calendar, but again, it will also include one branded post per week to help drive traffic. So if you have questions on those packages, definitely let us know. So I have another question that just came in, so I think this is appropriate just to throw it in here. Are there concerns with the algorithm if you are posting content from other organizations? Lucy, I'll let you speak to that.
Okay, so are there concerns with the algorithm if you are posting content from other organizations? So what I think you're meaning with this question, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is the kind of Meta algorithm. So Meta will recognize these as posts that you are creating. So they're not coming through as a typical reshare or a repost. They're coming through as your content. And then you're just putting in the caption, that attribution statement. And we love that because that's also a place where you're tagging other organizations, you're bringing awareness to these trusted organizations for your patients, but Meta likes that tagging too. They like you to keep things social. And what often happens is those organizations will also come through and like it, say thanks for sharing, and engage with your content, which is again, is gonna help with your reach. And so it really follows the social media best practices that are, for every one post that you're doing about yourself, so those custom branded posts, for every one of those, you want to have 4 other engagements or posts from somebody else to keep things quote unquote social. So I hope that answers your question.
That's a great answer. I think I would also just add, generally parents are not going to follow all of these other great organizations. We want them to see this fantastic content, but parents are going to follow you. And so you do become that subject matter expert because you're drawing from this wealth of information and wisdom on how to raise your children or different things going on in the community and the nation. I mean, it really has such a variety of posts that it can pull. But even though they're not following the CDC on Facebook or Instagram, there can still be great content that can be pulled in and they're going to see it on your wall. So it really does increase your reach and how knowledgeable you guys are there. I have one more that came in about these 7 posts. They said, can you clarify the 7 posts? What's the limit of posts the Basic can generate per week?
Yeah.
So it will be automatically that it's going to generate whatever you say. Within the calendar, you can say, hey, we want you to post Monday through Friday, not Saturday and Sunday. So that would generate a total of 10 posts, 5 for Facebook, 5 for Instagram every week. If you mark every day, because you just choose the days you want it to do, then that would be a max of 7 Facebook posts and 7 different posts for Instagram. And as Lucy stated earlier, you are going to get an email every Sunday at noon. It is going to actually show you all of those posts that are about to be going out. It's really fantastic to have your staff, your providers signed up for that email. They may or may not follow you on social. Hopefully they do. But if they're not getting in and seeing those posts, they can be aware of what's going out to your families, because these posts will drive conversation when families come in. They may say, hey, I saw this online, and they're questioning it. So it's great for your providers to have a heads up that this is what the practice is posting for that upcoming week.
Yeah, and Rebecca,
I was
going to say, coming back to the package information, we do have another question about time commitment. So is there a time commitment in the contract, or is it month to month?
And that's a great question. Thank you. It is a 1-year commitment that we do have a special offer because you guys jumped on, took time out of your day to join us today. So we'll show that here to you today. I love this because this is a fantastic offer. You can try it. Try it for 30 days. See the difference that this makes with engagement. And again, we're looking at reach too. So even though someone might not like, comment, or share, if they scrolled and they slowed down and they engaged, it's going to show that there was that impression that they did see the post. That's also really vital because we know it was content that slowed their mind to say, this is something I'm interested in. They also pick up on those stats. With that, if you guys do want to be a part of this free trial, this is Social Savvy is what we're calling our new solution here. There's going to be a survey. So as soon as we end this, it's really just a couple of questions, but in there it's asking, do you want to be a part of that free trial? That's the first step. Fill out the information there. We will reach out to get you signed up, and I think you're going to see some pretty amazing results. Is there an implementation fee? So we do have an implementation fee, but that for this 30-day trial, if you guys want to start there and then you guys decide to sign up, that's waived. So that'll also be waived for you because we want this to be easy and frictionless for you guys to get started and to be able to jump in. So again, after that first 30 days, if you decide, yes, this is something that is making a difference, bring up that 7 hours or more per week so that you can post daily on both platforms. Now you can sign up for either of those packages. So again, you can do the basic or the pro. They're both fantastic and probably doing more to reach your audience than you're currently doing now. Any other questions that we might have coming through?
One other question that came through, and it said, if we have a local resource we like to use, how long does it take to set up and how long does it take before it starts showing in our feed?
Great question. So it's typically quick. What we have found is when we reach out to these organizations, they're like, oh, you want to reshare my content and help me with my reach? Of course. And so we've onboarded community partners in as short of as a week before. And it really just depends on kind of their readiness. So if they already have content that they're sharing on social media or that is social ready, we can get them onboarded in a week. If they have events, resources, blog posts that need to be repurposed, sometimes that takes longer.
Wonderful. And then Lucy, the follow-up to that was, and I think you pretty much answered it, but is there a way to pull in local content from community organizations?
That is our goal, because it plays better. So we have got the national content that can be more general, but what we have found is engagement goes up, especially when you're posting your stuff. But people really like those local resources as well. So yes, we want to pull those in.
Wonderful. Rebecca, if you want to talk about the free offer a little bit, if any more questions come in, I'll let you know before we close out the webinar.
Okay, I see one that just now came in again. How do you vet your partners providing the content?
Yeah. Okay. So we have kind of a three-tiered system for this, these checks and balances. So first of all, we have our own internal committee. We have a pediatrician, we've got a child life specialist, we have myself, an educational psychologist. And so we're going to look at the editorial statement for all of our content partners that we're bringing in and do that first check that they have this commitment to, being credible, reliable, trustworthy. Okay. Then, of course, you're going to come in and you're going to say, all right, these are the organizations I know and trust. We are never going to post any content from an organization that you haven't given us permission to. So if it doesn't align with your practice, or if you're not aware or just don't know anything about that organization, don't subscribe to it and it will not go out. And then the very last check is going to be that email. So like I said, you're going to get an email on Sundays at noon that gives you a final look. You're going to see the individual piece of content that has been selected and scheduled for you. You're going to see the caption that goes along with it. So you get that final set of eyes on the content itself. So this 3-step process has worked pretty well for us in making sure that everything's going out does have that check on it for reliability and validity.
Thank you. Another one has come in, and I just want to comment on this. I know Lucy didn't mention, but working with pediatrics for as long as I have, it's always impressive. I love finding a good solution. This was a lot of research. We've had other people, want to partner, but we really believe in the research they've done behind this and how effective it is. In the 3.5 years that they've been around, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Lucy, but people that have signed up, nobody has left. They've had 0 of the practices say, nope, not effective, and leave. Everyone has stayed because it is showing results. Am I still accurate there?
Yes. Yes.
Anybody? Okay, awesome. I love it. If they signed. So this was, are these slides available so we can highlight the positives to present to our managing partners? Yes, you're going to have the recording that will be sent out to you after you do that survey. At the end, again, there's going to be just those couple of questions. Sign up for that free 30-day trial. That's open to those that were in the webinar or signed up ahead of time today. We don't want you to miss out on that offer, so that'll happen right at the end. That's going to pop up. It says, once signing on, how soon does it take effect, and what is the training process? Is a meeting scheduled to review implementation and login, etc.? Absolutely. So like I said, right before this webinar, it was my meeting right before, we jumped on with a practice. They had, you don't have to, but they brought all their providers on because they wanted to see what this was going to look like. We blocked a 30-minute meeting. About 20 minutes in, we were done. So it really is a fairly quick meeting. Now that practice was going to log in and spend a little bit of time as a team. They were meeting right after to actually go through the content partners and put subscribe or not on the different content. That's really up to you guys, how quickly you can go through each of those and decide if you want that to represent you. As new content partners become available, you'll also be notified. So if you want to sign up for additional partnerships, you can. Feel free to stay on. A few more questions are sliding in, so we're going to answer these as they come in. If another clinic also has this service in the surrounding area, will the same post go to both clinics? This is a great question. I'm going to just say a little sentence here and pass this on because we've been asked this multiple times. We have, a lot of websites in the same areas serving the pediatric community, and this is not the same, but a couple things come up. Parents usually are not going to follow your practice and 5 other pediatric practices in the area. They're following you. You're their pediatrician, you're their trusted resource. That is the content they're going to be seeing is from your practice. But also each practice is unique and different. And part of that AI is following what are your families, what are they keying into and interested in, and that determines future content. But I'll let Lucy speak to that as well.
Yeah, everything that Rebecca said, coupled with the fact that we've got more than 15,000 pieces of content in our library right now. So it is statistically very unlikely for any 2 practices, whether they're neighbors or not, to post the same piece of content on the same day. Now, if you're both subscribed to the local library and the local library has a post about upcoming story time events, there is a chance that both of you post that information in the same week. But would that be alarming to a parent that just happens to be following both of these pediatric clinics? No, because there is a sense of kind of the village and working together in healthcare. So not only would it not be surprising, but it would likely be good for more parents to see the same message over and over again on certain topics. And then, of course, you have your weekly branded post that will, of course, be unique to your practice.
Awesome. This is a quick question I think I can answer. It says, do they need to also use Office Practicum as a service? I'm also going to throw in Remedy Connect, our websites or anything. No, this is a standalone service. So even if you do not have any other services through Office Practicum or website services, that's okay. This is standalone where you can just get this Social Savvy, the social media solution on its own. I have another practice saying they want to talk to someone today. Yes, we would love to talk to you. Again, in that survey, just put that in there and we will have somebody reach out and set that up. And it's a pretty quick process if you want to get started.
Can I answer this one that says, how does it draw in new patients or doesn't? I just have to tell the story because it happened to happen yesterday. I was in a interagency community council meeting yesterday with other organizations. And just so happened one of our pediatric locations was there, and she talked about our service and was singing its praises, which was wonderful. But she said that she was doing paperwork yesterday morning, 3 new patients at their practice, and they asked this on their intake form: how did you hear about us? 2 of those 3 patients indicated social media. So yes, does it draw in new patients? Yes, because this is the buying behavior, if you will, of parents today is let's look at your website, let's look at your Google reviews, let's look at your social media. And so it's working. So in addition to the Dr. Beavers case study, the Bloom Pediatrics study that I mentioned, it was just I'm so happy to hear that again yesterday.
I love that. And it's just very honest feedback. That is how people are coming in. I had someone mention, I thought I'd mentioned that they asked about contract length. It is for a year. So it's a 1 year because we do a 30-day trial. Consider that a 13-month contract because it's the free trial. And then you would have 12 months of paid service for that. So I think the questions have slowed down here. Again, the free trial is through March 31st, so please take advantage and sign up. I just want to thank you guys for taking time today. I know it is super busy in every clinic, and any time you have given us is time you had to take away from something else. Hopefully we've given you some nuggets and you'll be able to use this solution to free up extra hours in your day.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You'll get this recording as well at the end. Anything I've missed, Doris?
No, Rebecca, I think you hit everything. Just a reminder that the 30-day free trial can start immediately as soon as we connect you with a solutions expert, and that it does end March 31st. So you may want to take advantage of it sooner rather than later so you get the full 30 days in there. And the survey is going to follow.
Thank you. Thank you to Lucy for your time. Thank you, Dr. Dan, as well. Amazing to have you guys on today.
Thanks, everyone.